Okay, so here's a classic. Here I am, technically a full female bodied human in menopause. And I'm like at the effect of menopause. Like I've got the brain fog and the hot flashes, and so I'm in the middle of a hot flash while somebody's like, yes, sir, no, sir. How can we help you, sir? And one of the most interesting things to me is that I've got that classically trained female in me that tells me I'm not allowed to take up space. And now I also have this like lesbian feminist brain on telling me, as I'm perceived as male, then I also am not allowed to take up space in women only spaces. And forever, menopause, even though we don't talk enough about it, there's not enough conversation about it, and there's starting to be conversation about it. But historically, I mean, it is a woman's thing. And so the fact that people perceive me as male, I can't even have a conversation, even with I have one med provider that is great, and it takes forever for me to find like a therapist or a med provider or anybody who can hear me talk about menopause and the impact it has on me. And it's such a weird place to be. So, what's interesting about my work is I do the DEI trainings, and I'm training people how to be nice to queers. I've been doing that my whole life. I have my Lean Inside work, which is all about personal transformation. So I am always looking to see, what do I need to transform to make this turn out the way I want it to turn out? What's going on over here? And I've been really present to, there's just so much fear right now. And it's not just, there's the fear, it feels like, if you're somebody who's tuned in right now, can be palpable. And so it takes something, right, to not dial into the fear, but dial into, there's also this amazing amount of possibility that's happening. And I assert that as I'm navigating my age and my physical, what's going on over here in menopause, it feels like it adds a layer that I haven't ever navigated before. And so it's just, I'm sitting in a place of being curious about where do I fit into all of this, and how can I create a space where all of us could have a conversation? Because wouldn't it be amazing, right? Wouldn't it be amazing if we could have a conversation about menopause, for example, that also could include men, non-binary humans, all people, talking about this process that many of 51% of the population goes through when we get aged, that all of us could have this conversation and have a new depth of understanding from everywhere. Right now, that doesn't look possible from where I sit, and I am somebody who's always if I have an idea, then it could be possible. So I'm going to keep talking about menopause and where I am as a gender queer at the age of 58, as I'm moving into senior status. I technically was a senior at 55, and I get my senior discount. And at the age of 58, I'm climbing on the back of 60, right? My birthday's in a couple weeks, I'll be 58, and I'm climbing on the back of 60. And I have a lot of thoughts about being an aged senior queer. And the menopause adds another layer of that I'm just curious about and pondering. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about that, and I would love it if we could have a conversation with men about the impact of menopause and how they could actually support. And I'm talking about cis, mostly het men, but cis men, and because again, nobody's talking about menopause, and it's a taboo conversation, number one, but it's certainly a taboo conversation to talk about for all genders. And that's where I'm always at. All genders, all the pronouns, that's who I am. It's good to see you.